Have you ever just stopped and wondered what really goes on inside the minds of truly great thinkers? Well, it turns out it's not some kind of magic. It's more like architecture. Today, we're going to break down the very structure of thought itself, exploring the fundamental pieces that build our thinking processes. So let's dive right in.
I mean, it all really boils down to this one question, right? What is it that separates just good thinking from truly great thinking? Is it something you're just born with, or is it something you can actually build? That's the central idea we're going to unpack together.
All right, here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the foundational skills, the real nuts and bolts. Then we'll get into the mindset you need to use them in this crazy, changing world. After that, we'll explore those mysterious flashes of insight. And finally, we'll bring it all together into your very own mental toolkit. Okay, first step, building cognitive competence. I want you to think of this as heading to the workshop. Before you can build anything really amazing, you have to forge your tools first. This is where it all begins. So, what even is cognitive competence? Well, what's so crucial to understand is that it's not about some kind of innate genius. The source material is super clear about this. These are skills. They are developed, not just inherited. And what that means is through effort and practice and just reflecting on what you're doing, anyone, and I mean anyone, can become a better thinker. What's so fascinating is how you can actually break down quality. The late MIT professor Patrick Winston gave us this absolutely brilliant formula. He said quality is a function of K, P, and T: knowledge, practice, and talent. But here's the key insight, and I want you to really let this sink in. Two of those three things, your knowledge and your practice, are 100% within your control. And here are the specific tools in that toolkit. We're talking about everything from building a solid knowledge base and getting good at spotting patterns, all the way to, well, even thinking about your own thinking. That's a skill called metacognition. Each and every one of these is a distinct, trainable skill that adds to your overall cognitive competence. Okay, so now we have the tools, but what good are tools if you don't know how to use them in the real world? See, having these great cognitive skills is one thing, but our world isn't static. To be truly effective, your thinking has to be able to adapt. It needs to evolve. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus said this over 2,000 years ago, and honestly, has it ever been more true than it is today? Our world is in constant motion, and our thinking has to reflect that reality. And this brings us to this powerful idea of evolutionary thinking. It's a mindset that doesn't just put up with change, it actually expects it. It embraces the uncertainty that comes from living in a dynamic, flowing universe, instead of trying to cling to some rigid, fixed idea of how things are supposed to be. This slide just illustrates the two paths so perfectly. Our minds naturally want to resist change. We put up this kind of mental brick wall because change feels uncomfortable, it feels uncertain, but that just leads to stagnation. The other path, the evolutionary one, is to embrace it, to learn how to surf the waves. And that takes a kind of intellectual resilience, but it's what allows for real, genuine learning and growth. So here's the absolute core of it. Evolutionary thinking isn't just about adapting to the world out there. It's about adopting the world in here. It's having the intellectual courage to look at new evidence and just say, you know what, I was wrong about that. We've covered the tools and we've covered the mindset, but what about the spark? That magic moment? Let's explore maybe the most mysterious part of our mental toolkit, the power of intuition. Come on, we've all had them, right? That sudden flash of insight, that little gut feeling that's just screaming the answer at you, or that brilliant idea that just pops into your head seemingly fully formed. Where on earth does that come from? Well, to understand intuition, it helps to know about the two classical ways we gain knowledge. There's a posteriori, which is just learning from experience. You touch a hot stove, you learn that it burns. Simple. Then there's a priori, which is based on pure reason, like knowing a triangle has three sides without having to go out and measure every single one. Now, intuition, this is the fascinating part. It's like this incredible bridge between those two worlds. It's not direct experience, and it's not pure step-by-step logic. It's a totally different kind of knowing, a direct sense of understanding that just seems to bypass all our conscious thought. But here's the thing. It's not magic. The source suggests intuition is actually the result of deep, sustained engagement with something. It's what happens when you've practiced something so relentlessly or thought about a problem so obsessively that your subconscious mind just keeps working on it in the background, piecing things together until, bam, suddenly the answer is just there.
And really, who better to explain this than Einstein himself? He said it wasn't that he was so smart, it was that he stayed with the questions longer. Think about that. His breakthroughs weren't just random flashes of genius. They were the result of incredible persistence, of sticking with a problem long after anyone else would have just given up. That deep engagement is what creates the fertile ground for intuition to grow. Okay, we've looked at the individual pieces. We've got the skills, we've got the mindset, and we've got that intuitive spark. Now let's put them all together and assemble a powerful, complete mental toolkit. This image just captures the whole process perfectly. Knowledge is the raw material, that kind of fuzzy cloud on the left. But to turn it into true intelligence, that clear picture on the right, it needs to be activated. It needs catalysts, things like competence, courage, motivation, and just plain grit to propel it forward. So here it is. The ultimate takeaway is the synergy. You build your skills through competence, you apply them effectively in the real world with an evolutionary mindset, and you unlock those profound breakthroughs through the kind of deep focus that fuels intuition. It's never just one or the other. It's all three working together. And that, of course, brings us to our final question. And this one is really for you. When you look at these three pillars of thought, competence, evolution, and intuition, where do you see your greatest opportunity for growth? Which tool are you going to pick up and start sharpening today?